This is DRF Race of the Day. Hi, everybody. Dan Illman and Mike Beer, the DRF Race of the Day for Wednesday, January the 13th, race number 8 at Gulfstream Park. Let's throw up the field for a pretty salty optional claiming race going 1.125 miles on the turf. And you can download free Formulator Pass performances for this race on the Race of the Day event page at drf.com. Access them and handicap along with us. 8 entered for turf. The 7 Tatouage is entered main track only. And really, Mike, the key to this race is the 9 Endorsed, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, I guess in some ways it is. He's was at one point anyway, a pretty talented dirt horse. They're trying something new here with him. We'll see how he handles it, and we'll see what kind of price you can get on him.
He's got a little bit of tactical speed, and that's good, as he's going to have to extricate himself from a far outside post with a relatively short run into the first turn. We throw up the Timeform US pace projector. Our friends at Timeform US believe that he can be up there in the second flight behind Phantom Currency, and I agree. Phantom Currency has been on the lead in his last 2 races, and he's likely to make the front once again.
Yeah, I didn't really have any thing to add to this pace projector. It does sort of feel like the 3 and the 8 are going to be towards the back. The others feel like they want to at least be forward, whether or not they want to be on the lead or not. It does feel like the 6 could make it, and then the other horses will try to take up spots tracking them.
Great post position for the number 1 Perfect Speighty, who figures to tuck right in behind horses. And let's watch his most recent race at Gulfstream Park going 7.5 furlongs. We're going to see he's got some traffic issues. He's down in behind horses. He's got to alter course outside of this 1-horse Olympic runner. He never really gets fully clear. And at the end of the day, the winner of this race is just a very, very nice horse.
Yeah, Social Paranoia is really good. He's a stakes quality, a graded stakes quality horse. So yeah, this horse ran fine here. Overall, his trip was good, Dan. It was just until that point in the stretch where he had to alter out. And of course, right while he was trying to alter out, the winner was right there to his outside. So he never really did get fully clear. I thought he ran fine. And I liked that effort mostly because, Dan, his race off the short layup there, 2 back, I thought he ran great that day. I mean, he looked really good winning that race at Woodbine. I think this horse has really improved in his recent starts.
And I think you can argue this is a hidden class drop. Certainly, it's the same class as the last race, optional 75, but there are no Social Paranoias in here. Monarch's Glen is the number 2. This is an interesting case. He was a group winner in England back in 2017, and then he was purchased by the Gargan Connections for $90,000 at the end of 2019. They haven't made their money back, but they did get a win in this race at Gulfstream West. They dropped him in for 62.5 last time out, and he made a big wide mid-race move into the teeth of the pace. And Monarch's Glen, this is kind of Monarch's Glen, though. I'm not really sure he really wants to beat you. He eventually wears this horse down. 97 buyer puts him in good stead. He does have back figs.
He does. He ran pretty well in this race. He got a really good trip. It did look like he was going to win easier than it ultimately turned out to be at the end, but he still got the job done with a good figure. His races back in New York over the summer, thought he ran okay in some of those races, Dan. His effort at Saratoga behind Digital Age, he ran fine in that race. I mean, I guess if he runs one of his good races, you could argue he's the horse to beat.
Identifier drops out of the Grade 3 Harlan's Holiday, won by Pegasus World Cup bound Tax. Like Endorsed, this is a horse that really doesn't have much form on turf. He's only raced once on grass in his career. It came over a wet turf course, and he just kind of ran evenly after a wide trip. He's okay on dirt, but a big question mark on the turf.
Yeah, he really is. I mean, unless you go to that race 3 back and feel like you have an excuse for him, it just feels like he's just way better on the dirt. And, it's not like that turf horse was so long ago that maybe you just feel like, oh, let's give him another chance on it. I mean, it was only in September. I didn't really feel like he ran that great.
Dance Thierry is a true world traveler. He began his career in England, a Group 3 winner in France, a Group 1 winner in Germany. They sent him to Australia with eyes on some of the major races like the Melbourne Cup. He ran on the Cox Plate in his first start in Australia. It didn't go well. Supposedly he bled down there. He'll get Lasix for Graham Motion, who is exceptional with these foreign shippers.
Yeah, this horse, you do want to take notice not only of Motion's record with these foreign shippers, because it feels like he really has the key to a lot of these horses, but you have to take this horse's back class into consideration as well. I mean, it's been a while since he's won a race, Dad. I mean, you have to go back to July of 2019 to get to his last win. But it's only been 6 starts since then. And you mentioned some of the excuses he could have for his form in Australia. So I felt like he was mildly interesting in here.
Second start off a 2-month layoff for the number 5, Sandancer, 15-1 on the morning line. Sandancer last time out ran in a 62.5 optional claimer, tired that day. But it was nice at least that another one of the also-rans, a horse that he finished ahead of the 7th place runner, came back to finish 3rd for 75 with a 94 buyer. He's always been a solid horse. He's got a little more tactical speed than it shows perhaps on the pace projector.
Agreed. I think he will be forward in this race if they want to be anyway, because he's the kind of horse that it feels like you can put him anywhere you want in a race. In this spot, it might make sense for them to go forward with him and see what happens. Listen, he's just pretty underrated, Dan. He's certainly not a superstar, but this is an underrated horse, and he is not over his head in this kind of a race by any stretch of the imagination.
Phantom Currency, the number 6, finished first in his first 3 turf route appearances. That preceded a very long layoff, however, and I'm just not sure he's come back as good. He has won once since then, but that was in an off-the-turf race on dirt. You throw the Clark out, he had no chance in that race, and you probably want to be very, very forgiving of his race at 1.5 miles, 3 starts back. His speed makes him dangerous.
Yeah, it does make him interesting, and he does have some, pretty solid turf form as well. Obviously, if he shakes loose in a field like this, he could be pretty dangerous at least on the morning line, would be a fair price on him. I don't love his recent form, but he certainly has the back races to make you take a second look.
Tatweej is entered main track only. We move to the 8, Artie's Rumor, claimed for $40,000 by Michael Maker back in September, immediately won an allowance race at Keeneland, and then he got into a little trouble in the Claiming Crown Emerald. We're going to watch that race right now. He was sent off at 3-1 in the Claiming Crown, and you're going to see, turning into the stretch, he's in between horses. He has some run, but he really doesn't have anywhere to go.
Yeah, he's just going to wind up getting all boxed up here in the late stages. There was a real chance he could have won this race, Dan. It was his kind of a race. He's one of those horses you take back and make one run, and this was his kind of a race. You can see the closers getting up at the end to dominate. It's pretty easy to look at that race and feel like if he got clear, he would have won. 2 starts back, he got a great ride from Ricardo Santana and got the job done. He needs some pace, but if he gets it, he's dangerous.
I think you make an interesting point because this is a horse, I think they found his whole card. Take him back, make one run. He was a little bit more tactical earlier in his career, and he had some success there. But ever since being claimed by Maker and being allowed to come with that one run, he's more effective, and he's certainly not out of this. And here's the key to the race, Endorsed, the number 9, going out for Bill Mott, first time on the turf. This is a horse that obviously has credentials on the main track. He's by Medaglia d'Oro, 12% winners from first-time turf runners. The dam was unraced on the turf. She was a grade 1 stakes winner. This is a full brother to one of your favorite horses, Bocephus, who was second in a little turf stakes race at Turf Paradise.
I mean, I guess there's a little pedigree, Dan. He's not my kind of horse, right. Making the surface switch in some form that maybe isn't the best of his career. I don't know. We'll see what happens, I guess. I also don't like the fact that they worked him on turf. I would prefer if Mott just came right over feeling like, you know what, he's going to handle the turf. I feel like Mott working him on it makes me think he's not too sure.
A 2.5-month layoff, coming back at 1 1/8 miles. It seems a bit demanding, especially if he's going to be on the chase. Let's take a look at our top picks for the Wednesday race of the day. I really have no knocks on your top pick, Perfect Speighty, especially if he goes off at the 5-1 morning line, considering a little bit of the traffic he had last time out against a moderate pace and against a pretty good horse.
Yeah, all those things sort of conspired to lead me to take him. We'll see what kind of price he is. I don't know what you're going to get on him. But again, I thought he ran okay last time, and I really liked his race too back then. I feel like this horse has really upped his game in his last couple starts for Hatfield.
Monarch's Glen, the number 2, broke a long losing streak last time out. I'm really not sure he's got that real competitive fire to him, but it was nice to see him win. And boy, Danny Gargan has been on absolute fire at Gulfstream Park. Monarch's Glen's a little versatile. I think he can adapt to any kind of pace scenario, but he must drift for me. 5-2 is way too light against this field. 2-4-1-8 for me, 1-4-8-2 for Mike. It's the Wednesday race of the day at Gulfstream Park. It is race number 8 with an approximate post time of 4:11 Eastern. Best of luck.